Good morning, friends. Who is awake at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning? This is Pacific time. So, this is our morning live chat. We'll see how many people tune in because, of course, evenings is a best time slot for most people. But, oh, Muffy, good morning. This is for the early risers and also for people internationally because, hi Tenzin, hi Greg. It is like 8 hours later in London, for example, than it is over here. So I know that there are some complaints about my evening chats being too late. Yeah, 4 p.m. in London. um, this is Nala. She feels sorry for herself because she hasn't gotten any kind of love this morning yet. This is Franklin's cat. He's still asleep. So let's just cover a little bit of like weather, news, sports, that kind of thing. And then I'm also going to just, field any questions that you might have for me. A little note about last night. The slumber party went really well. I had a ton of fun. I'm not going to be posting that one on my channel just because um, we talked about some stuff that was kind of private, and I don't want to put everybody else's business out there, especially we talked about a certain celebrity, not me, because I don't consider myself a celebrity, but some people do. But yeah, it's just, we're just going to keep it private. Thanks, Muffy. That goes down in memory as just the moment between me and everybody who was there. So there were 142 people who were on last night. Okay. Um, I'll definitely have to make it shareable then, and then I can email the link or something. But as long as people don't share the link, because then if the link gets shared on somebody's social media, then it's basically the same as if it was public. So, anyways, all right. Today it is about 45 degrees. I saw somebody that was in the UK, so that is Fahrenheit, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. It's raining, as you can see outside. Um, and yeah, just like a fall day. It went from summer to winter to fall here. So the trees are in shock because they got ice and snow before the leaves actually turned. And now they're kind of like in a process of trying to turn the leaves. So that's the weather. What's the weather like where everybody else is? You have to tell me. Meanwhile, this is just black tea with some milk. I guess that's kind of how, um, maybe it's like an English way of drinking tea. I don't know. But I like to drink milk in my tea. I don't necessarily I don't always have sugar. Sometimes I'll put sugar. Today I did not put sugar, so it's just black tea with milk. Yay, Muffy! You like to drink it with milk too. 12 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is Fahrenheit. I forgot, about converting. So New Orleans 78. Wow. Um, I've heard that it's kind of like colder some places than normal and warmer other places than normal. So it's been kind of a bizarre season, honestly. It probably makes everybody wonder about climate change and whether certain plant lines and so forth can yeah, we're not doing those type of questions, Douglas. That was last night. Um, so yeah, like whether or not certain plants or trees or whatever will survive. Like I feel like with climate change, a lot of things are going to be going south. So, 55 degrees in Charlotte. Nice. That's a little bit warmer than here, but not, it's pretty similar. Is it raining or is it just blue sky? Because I know so it's 8 o'clock here, so it would be like 11 there probably. 73 and raining in Jacksonville, Florida. Nice. That sounds a lot warmer. You see, I had to steal Franklin's sweatshirt this morning because I didn't want to go back into the bedroom and get more clothes and wake up Langston. So California sounds warm. We don't get hurricanes or tornadoes here at all. Yeah, gray skies. So I've been thinking a lot about politics lately, and so moving on to news, we got our ballots in the mail for the election. This is just actually mostly just municipal and state things. So but there's a mayoral race that's kind of important and a few other things that are pretty crucial. So we vote by ballot, so there's really no excuse in Washington state for anybody to not vote because you literally get this in the mail and all you have to do is fill it out and send it in, and there's no postage necessary. That's pretty cool that you have that connection with Muffy. I have been to North Carolina, but I don't think I've ever been to South Carolina. So sometime I'll have to visit. What is everybody else drinking? I didn't have any coffee in the house, so I'm on tea right now. And yeah, Douglas, you missed the convo last night. I'm not into visits. Douglas is still trying to have slumber party chat. That was last night. So when it comes to politics, who is everybody going for with the general or the primary? Green tea with honey, Rachel. That sounds really good. I love green tea with honey. So Tenzin says you get polling cards, then have to go to a polling station. So Superstar, you say you're going for Bernie. Yeah. If this is the thing is like, I would definitely vote for Bernie over Trump. Sorry if there are any Trump fans on here. So yeah. Anyway, I got my little Kamala sticker in the mail because I am a fan, although I know a lot of people are not into her, and so I feel like she has a low chance of winning the nomination, unfortunately, but you know, I do think that she would make an amazing presidential candidate. So when I fill out my ballot, I have to wear these now because my readers, because I'm old. So Tenzin says, you think that Trump is going to get a second term? No, I hope not. I really hope that he doesn't. But, you know, I actually have some hair clients who are pro-Trump. Yes, they're black women. They're pro-Trump. Only 2, though. So it's like probably 99% of my hair clients are not pro-Trump. But, you know, everybody has the power to vote. What else am I doing this morning? I've got bills. I've got this utility bill that I have not yet mailed, but I think I will be able to mail it soon, so that's good. I always hold on to my bills and then, you know, like send them as soon as I have the money to pay for it. So, anyways, yeah. So news, what else is new going on? I saw that Trump is hosting the thing at his, like at Duran, so the resort. He's hosting the G7 summit there. That sounds pretty shady, but I guess it's just gonna happen. So there's not much anybody can do about it. He's got to make his money. When it comes to sports, I know that internationally people don't celebrate American football as much as we do here. But thank you, Rachel. Yay. The Rachel squared. We've got Rachel and Rachel on both sides of the screen. So yeah, like some people don't necessarily celebrate like the NFL or whatever, don't follow it. But good morning, Bianca. Who's your favorite team if you are a football fan? Because I like the Seahawks, but my son Franklin is into Saints. That's his team. Yeah, about that mommy life. I've always been a Seahawks fan since I was a kid. Raiders fan, Dallas Cowboys. Wow, we are not going to agree on football today. That's fine. We've got Panthers. I do like the Panthers. Niners. Yeah, Seahawks. Number 3. Regina. So yeah, and I think Regina, I think you're in Washington State too. So yeah, go Seahawks. I was a fan before they ever blew up, but oh no, it's blocking you, Muffy. I don't know why. I didn't do anything. So yeah, news, weather, sports. What else is there on a Saturday morning to talk about beside life, I guess? Russell Wilson is a cutie. Rachel. Who is your favorite player? Muffy, you're probably over your limit on Super Chat. Yeah, Muffy went all out last night on Super Chat. So she was like the MVP of Super Chat. Bianca said cleaning and doing laundry. Yeah, that's also something to do. Yeah, I'm a Russell Wilson fan. Somebody asked who my favorite player is. I definitely need to clean today. I'm with Bianca on that. I'm going to be cleaning. I'm caught up on laundry, so that's good. But I do have some cleaning to do. So those of you who weren't with us last night, Franklin has his wisdom teeth removed. So he is, to Tenzin's question, no, he's not going to be helpful today in the house. Yeah, longer. Yeah, for sure. So, and Langston's 3. Now, Langston actually is going to be probably my best helper as far as household stuff because he kind of has OCD, which is part of his autism. So he has, he just does not like anything to be messy. So he is a big cleaner. Muffy asked if I'm cooking. I am cooking just for me though, so I'm going to be posting actually what I'm going to make this morning for dinner for me, like for this evening. It's just a salad basically, but it's kind of like a really tasty one, so I'm going to post that later on today. But I am not cooking anything elaborate just because Franklin is the main eater in this household. And he is on a liquid diet right now from his wisdom teeth. So he has yogurt, smoothies, Ensure, milk, all kind of stuff like that. And then also like avocados and bananas and things like that. What kind of coffee do I like? Bruno asked. I am really liking Thomas Hammer's El Diablo. That's my drink of the fall season, just when it starts to get cold. because that chili powder really goes into your throat and just like warms up your throat. It's basically like a chili mocha, and I really like that. Um, Tenzin says in the UK, you've been hearing about Popeyes not having enough chicken. Yeah, well, for sure. I think that not only Popeyes, but then how many other places like had to jump in on that? Like every chicken fast food place basically made a chicken sandwich. And I was actually thinking about making my own chicken sandwich, just, like preparing one and showing you how. And then I was like, no, that would kind of be petty at this point, because there are a million chicken sandwiches now. Now it's like the wars of chicken sandwiches. What am I dressing up as for Halloween? Somebody asked a little bit ago. So Franklin's not dressing up this year. Franklin or Langston and I are going to dress up. I am going to be the whistleblower, and Langston is going to be my attorney. So we're going to just have like a political costume going on. Which I got a really cheap little whistle, and Langston keeps stealing the whistle, so I hope I can find it by the time Halloween comes around, because I need the whistle for my costume. So I made a t-shirt that says I am the whistleblower, and then I'm gonna kind of wear like a suit jacket over that, and just, yeah. But these braids are coming out because by the time Halloween comes around, I think I need to change my hairstyle for the purpose of my costume. So I'm gonna have to have something a little bit more like, I don't know, like I'll just mix it up, probably a little darker hair color and stuff like that. So that'll be our Halloween. I'm not going to any parties or doing anything like that. I'm just basically handing out candy for the kids at the door. So thanks, Muffy. I'm glad you approve. I was like, because nobody really knows who the whistleblower is. So I was like, it would be funny if a whole bunch of people go as the whistleblower, and that would further, kind of, I guess, poke a little fun at the situation that it's like such a top secret. It really could be anybody, only of course if you actually have a job in the administration. But Nala, hush, come here. Nala gets all needy whenever I do a video because she feels neglected. Hold on. Do you ever get hair loss with the weight of the braids? No, I don't get hair loss. Somebody asked, what did I eat for breakfast? I've not eaten breakfast yet. And I thought about the possibility of like cooking breakfast while I did this chat. And then I was thinking, like, literally, I don't have that much food for breakfast currently on hand. So I decided against that. So yeah, I'm not making breakfast this morning. I'm just gonna have my tea, and then when Langston gets up, he's probably gonna want some breakfast, and I'll probably snack at that point. So yeah. Bianca was like, you should do a cooking breakfast video. And I was like, yeah, that would be fun if I actually had nice stuff to make and it looked cool. But I'm not a big breakfast eater. I know that's supposed to be the most important meal of the day, but honestly, I don't eat a lot of breakfast. I usually don't eat until about 11 in the morning, just because I'm not really hungry in the morning. I always like to have something to drink. So, have I heard about the Rodney Reed case? No, I haven't actually been following that case. I'll definitely have to check that out. I know that there are some people who have been given the death penalty who are innocent, and that's extremely heartbreaking. So I hope that he is spared, if at all possible. Breakfast is the best meal of the day. Izzy said. And then Bianca was asking like if I'm gonna work today. Yeah, I do actually have hair clients today, so I'm going to be working at 10. So what is it was 8 when we started, so I've got to watch the time. Get off here about 9, clean the house pretty quickly, and then yeah, get ready for my hair clients. So oh, you ordered Uber Eats for breakfast. Um, that sounds good. I've never done that before. That's a cool idea. Um, Day Owl, have you ever checked out Wilton Manors, Florida? I haven't. What's the economy like there? I mean, basically, when I move next year, I'm hoping to move somewhere where there's a great job opportunity where I can provide for Langston. So, I'm not opposed to Florida, but I also am not a, a huge fan of the idea of hurricanes and stuff like that, like storm season. But I will literally move wherever. I just don't want to be in the Northwest anymore. So it's become like online interactions and like social media, YouTube, things like that have become my social life just because of the weird situation here in Spokane where everybody kind of just, a lot of people are negative toward me. So. Kissing through the computer screen. So California, the rent is high. Yeah, I would move to California for sure. Bianca asked if I'll do a Thanksgiving vlog. That sounds fun. Where is Franklin going to college? So Franklin is applying to college in the Los Angeles area, and he is hoping to go for acting. So he wants to be in the area for auditions and things like that. And so he'll be heading that direction next year. And he actually is going down there for an audition in just a couple weeks. Like November 2nd, he's auditioning for the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And he's completed his application for that. So yeah, he's hoping to be a big star. I hope he is. I hope it all works out. Go Franklin. Yeah, he's having a good year, a good senior year this year. So I know, Bianca, I was thinking the same thing. Like since Tyler Perry opened up his studios place, I was telling Franklin about that. I was like, you know, maybe maybe you should think about Atlanta because there's, Atlanta is kind of booming in the film industry these days. So Tyler Perry is taking applications. That's good to know. I always thought that maybe I could score a job like as a set painter, or I don't know, like something creative with art connected with film. I've never been an actor. I've never really wanted to be an actor, but I think I'm too old to start now. I'm 41. Like I am not aspiring to be an actor, but I think that yeah, I could maybe do something like creative director or artistic consultations and things like that. So tell Franklin to get involved in short films. Yeah. Well, I think he'll be getting involved in as much as he can. So 41 is old. Well, it's middle age, but I think it is pretty old to start. Usually most people don't head to Hollywood when when they're 41. Like, I'm going to go start my acting career. That's a little bit old for going to Hollywood. Sorry. 41. Yeah, I'm not going to be an adult actor. No, thank you. I've had those offers, turned them down. What do you think about the current controversy of non-blacks or people who consider themselves Afro-Latinos using the N-word. Um, yeah, well, basically, that like my position on that word is basically the same as the NAACP, and because I was the NAACP president, I still kind of am loyal to that philosophy of burying the word. So the NAACP had like a whole ceremony where they buried the word, like we're not going to be using this is back a while ago, but just kind of like nobody used that because it's a triggering word. Some people use it. It's like everybody kind of, can do their thing, whatever. But, Muffy, I'm sorry you can't super chat. That sucks because you're like the best too. So yeah, that's my philosophy, is that nobody should use the N-word, but that I apply that to myself. I don't necessarily, and my kids, like not in my household, but when it comes to other people, like I don't necessarily feel like it's my place to set rules for other people. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy, is it'd be best if that word is dead and buried. And I also think that any kind of bullying language, like the F word, or, like in the LGBT community, or just different things, like why do we need that? Let's just kind of get rid of a lot of that stuff. So, yeah. What other groups use words to describe themselves that others have used to insult them? That's a good question, right? I think sometimes in comedy, people do use things like, slurs or whatever, because there are a lot of slurs out there for sure. But I think mostly it's like in a joking sense more than like on an everyday basis. Azorian. So Muffy, what is Azorian? I'll have to look that up. Um, Yeah, it's true. Like the gay community did kind of try and reclaim the word queer, but I don't think like I don't know, like I don't hear a lot of people like using the F word. So, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just nice to be nice. Oh, so Portuguese, Azorian is Portuguese. Yay, Muffy. I took a DNA test one time, and it said like 35% Iberian Peninsula, and then like 10% North African and all this other stuff. And so, maybe we're related way back when, Muffy. Let me see. What's your dream job and location? My dream job is something within the field of education and advocacy. So I'd love to be able to actually like open my own nonprofit and have that be a platform for educating and advocating for human rights. That would be my dream job. However, my second to that would be joining an organization who actually like that really works in those fields of education and advocacy. So whether university, like teaching again, or returning to nonprofit management, or just anything that is kind of within my 20-year career. So I would love to basically provide for my kids and help others. That's my kind of abstract goal. So what is your dream? What are your plans for tomorrow? Sorry, I'm catching up. So tomorrow's plans, what do I have? I don't even know. I'm just getting through today. It probably depends on if I have hair clients canceled today and rescheduled for tomorrow, but I do have some hair clients tomorrow too. Thankfully, I've had only cancellations all week, so I haven't even had a single hair client this week. So I'm looking forward to getting some work in this weekend. Northern African, yeah. Iberian Peninsula. Iberian Peninsula, yeah, I think is like Portugal though, right? Um, Portugal and Spain. Um, Muffy, you said you're 3% Egyptian. That's cool. Do I have Hanes socks on today? No. I don't have any socks on right now, actually. I just have like my slippers on, so yeah, just boring slippers and leggings and a hoodie. That's all I'm wearing. Let me see. When am I cooking some greens and mac and cheese? Well, not today because my son had his wisdom teeth removed, so nobody's eating that stuff today, but probably over the holidays. You can watch my video actually on how I make greens and how I make mac and cheese and how I do wings and a lot of other stuff. I've got some good cooking videos on here on my YouTube channel. Why don't I start my own nonprofit? Yeah, I would need a lot of public support and donors and things like that to run a nonprofit. And I don't yet have enough support to even be, hired to get a job, let alone fundraise money and everything else. So what would be your ideal vacation somewhere? I've always wanted to go to Bali. I don't know why. It just looks really fun. But I think it's always more fun to vacation with somebody. Let me see. Douglas is the only one who's on here like trying to flirt. Got some Hanes socks in your sock drawer. I don't even have Hanes socks. What is your thing with Hanes socks? I don't have Hanes socks. Yeah, so I still have all my wisdom teeth too. So somebody said they still have their wisdom teeth. I've got all my teeth, all 4 of my wisdom teeth intact. But my oldest son Isaiah had his wisdom teeth pulled. Franklin just had his wisdom teeth pulled. We'll see what Langston has to do with his wisdom teeth when he gets older. So would I take over a struggling nonprofit? Absolutely. So yeah, I hear you, Muffy, with the geography lessons here. So I did talk about my favorite NFL team like 10 minutes ago, but yeah, it's Seahawks. Somebody's asking that again, so Sean must have just tuned in. Were his teeth impacted? Yes, all 4 were impacted actually, so. How long does it take to do your client's hair? For box braids, it takes about 5.5 or 6 hours to do somebody else's box braids. It takes me about 8 hours to do my own. But a lot of my clients get other things too, like a weave or just locks, like retwisted or starting locks or twists or cornrows, that kind of thing. So today I've got a weave to do and also box braids. And it's interesting to me because actually the box braid trend has caught on for guys, and so guys are actually using braid hair to get box braids now too. It kind of started out with like the Travis Scott braids, but now it's like guys are getting like full on long box braids, not like as thick as this. Like I always try and do them kind of more I don't know, like a little chunkier, a little bit more blunt ends and things like that. But it's just a trend, and I was surprised at that because I never really, hold on, I've got to just hide that guy because honestly I'm tired of seeing all of the sexual comments. No thank you, bye bye. Douglas is out of the conversation. So yeah, box braids. I didn't think that I would see the day when men would actually wear extensions or weave or anything like that. But it is here. The day is here. Yeah, Bianca knows I will block you know, an MF if I need to. So yeah, in fact, there's been some conspiracy theory stuff about Trump possibly having like a lace front toupee or something. Like, who knows? Would I do an art collaboration? Absolutely. Yeah. Yay. Thank you, Proud African. I wish I knew your name because, you know, like some of the little like names on YouTube, sometimes it's like kind of like, you know, like CZ2345 or something. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks, Muffy. Well, there aren't enough people that are hating to actually need like a full-on moderator, but if it gets to that point, then I'll definitely task you with that. I'll hire you to be the moderator. So yeah, there was a question back there. Would I do an art collaboration? So yeah, I would definitely do an art collaboration. I actually did an art collaboration. I've done a couple now, but sadly, they didn't actually ever go public. So it was like a non-disclosure agreement that I did with a famous musician. But yeah, it didn't ever, like when the album came out, the little part that I had was replaced by a rap by Andre 3000. So I don't know what happened there, but it was fun to do. And I'm sure that their PR team probably was like, no, people don't like her enough yet to drop that. So just cut her out. I don't know. Will, is that, oh, somebody asked, like, how do you contact me? So you can contact me through my website. It's just racheldolezal.com, and there's a little contact tab. So just click the contact tab and type in like your name and the message and everything, and then it will actually send an email straight to me. So yeah, what else are we doing here? Here, I've got to back up because I'm being slow. It's morning. So do I do makeup too? No, I don't do makeup. I mean, I don't do it professionally. Can you tell? Because like there's nothing really very amazing going on here. I have no idea what I'm doing with my makeup. I get some tips from time to time, though, from some makeup artists, so that's nice. So let me see. Will says, okay, so hi, Will. You majored in history, had your DNA done, proud of your heritage. That's awesome. So now Mr. Poopy gets to be blocked. Yeah, Dale, I've got to figure out how to actually appoint somebody as the moderator. I haven't gotten that together because on my little settings, I don't see that as an option when I set the settings up for the live thing, but I'll figure that out. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dale. Thanks for the tip on teaching in art jobs in Wilton, Fort Lauderdale area. I'll have to look that up for sure. So Mike is talking about, yeah, like we all do come from Africa. That's totally correct. Yeah. Muffy is ordering my book. Thank you. I think you'll actually really love the book. A lot of people probably feel like reading a memoir is boring, but you'll probably be surprised that it's a pretty good page turner. There are a lot of pretty exciting moments in the book, and it gets better. Like the plot thickens towards the end as well, so you have to read the whole thing. And thank you for ordering it. I actually just got my royalty statement for the year, which was pretty depressing. Only 34 books sold internationally, I guess, since January, like the entire year of 2019. And I think 75 ebooks sold for the entire year. And then 34 books were returned from retailers that had purchased them previously. So it was like 34 minus 34, which canceled each other out. Then the 75 that sold on ebook actually only, like the royalties from that just went, it still hasn't made enough money to pay off publishing costs. So it's still like in the deficit. So, okay, Nala, come here. You want outside? Come here. Come on. You really want to go outside in the rain? You can go out. She's weird. She just wants attention. So, but the book is actually a really great, it's a really great book. I'm very proud of it, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I've graded a lot of papers, and so I do think the writing is outstanding, and I think it's worth getting. So, do I like car air fresheners? Yes. Kelly says, I think you're very talented, including cooking. You're going to try the cinnamon rolls for Christmas morning. Yes, really do cinnamon rolls for Christmas morning. That would be a great thing to serve on Christmas morning. Tenzin, what do I think my legacy will be? I think that's still undecided. I know what I would like for it to be, but I don't think that we're there yet. So I will keep pushing toward what I want my legacy to be. I'm only in the middle of my life, so midlife, I don't think that you can really say like what the end of your life is going to be like. So thank you, Regina. I'm glad that you were able to get the book and read it. So Will says, like, don't rule out Houston, Texas. Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of people suggesting like Dallas or Houston. I've never actually been a huge, like, oh, I'm a Texan, like I should go to Texas. It's never been a thought in my mind, I guess just because of a lot of the stereotypes about Texas. I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I honestly would relocate there at this point for sure and be happy if I found something that would support us. So have you ever been to the San Francisco Bay Area? Yes. I have been to San Francisco Bay Area, and I love San Francisco. Unfortunately, though, that was the location of a sexual assault back, was it like 11 years, 12 years ago, something like that. So right after my divorce, I had a business meeting in the San Francisco area and was got my drink drugged. That was before it was actually super common, so I wasn't even like on the lookout for that. So, and got raped. But I don't want to dwell on that, so let's move on. That's the last time I was in San Francisco, sadly. How about art on air fresheners? Yeah, I mean I'm open to that, Ramon. The only thing is I don't really like sharing my high resolution art files with like a lot of different websites for things like that, because you can get your art bootlegs that way, and also those like air fresheners and things like that are just a very small item. So I have not had much luck with like candy and candles and soaps and keychains and like all the stuff that I have on Zazzle, which is like 200 products on Zazzle that have my art on it, including keychains and luggage and shoes and clothes and all this stuff, clocks. It's basically, yeah, it's just, I make tops, I'll make $75 a month on Zazzle, like tops in a really good month. A lot of months I make like 10 or 11 bucks off of Zazzle royalties, because you only get like a little small percentage, like 15 or 20%, depending on the design. So everywhere in the US is racist, but let's take Dallas. It has a black mayor, black police chief, black fire chief, etc. People forget the South is a base for Black Americans' soul and history. Yeah, for sure. I actually really, yeah, and Tenzin, I have done Etsy like a long time ago. I know everybody wants to help and is like, try this, try that. Done it, tried it, over it. Etsy blocked me, like they shut my store down when I changed my legal name. And I tried to reach out to them and ask them like what is going on. And they said they aren't willing to talk about it. So that was the end of Etsy in 2016. So, um, yeah, so that's my little experience with online stuff. But you have to protect your intellectual property. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, you definitely have to protect your images, like those high resolution files. You can't have those living everywhere. It's too much. It's like then people can just start printing it. You don't even know that they're printing and selling and all kind of like ends up on like CDs. I actually have had situations where my art has been stolen, even original art. So I sold a really big painting. It was 7 feet long and it was all made out of elk hides that were stitched together. It was sculpted. Thank you. I don't even know exactly how to say your name on the thing, but 8U. So yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. And it says you love my book. I don't know why people aren't more open-minded and accepting. We need more people like you in the world. So Roland. Thank you, Roland. Now I know your name. So yeah, like basically, Etsy is out. I've done right now. What I'm doing is I'm studying for an exam for teaching English as a second language, like a certificate program. So I'm working on that. I have to take the exam. I think Monday. My initial exam or whatever is going to be Monday. So yeah. I'm trying to kind of just build up revenue in any way and then just piece it all together. So it's like $10 over here and $100 over there, and then trying to make rent, utilities, phone, senior year expenses because we've got college applications and of course unexpected expenses with sports and medical stuff and whatever. So Tenzin said, could you write a children's book about being different and finding joy in that? Yeah, I'd be happy to write books, but the thing is, like, my book has not sold enough for me to actually prove to a publisher that a book would sell that I wrote. And I actually do have a children's book that's called Ebony Tresses, and it's written for my little sister when she was young, and it has a paper doll at the back with changeable hairstyles, and all the illustrations illustrate different ways that I did her hair when she was young. It's kind of a celebration of black hair for girls. And yeah, so I do have a children's book, but it's self-published because nobody would publish that book since my other one didn't do very well economically. Could I do a feature film movie about myself? I can't because I don't have the resources for that. But yes, my feature film rights are available, and I've talked to a few people who are interested in optioning my book for film, but that has not gone anywhere yet because after the Netflix film came out, a lot of film directors and people in the industry just kind of felt like the appetite was over because the Netflix film got dissed a lot by the media, and people just kind of felt like the world's done hearing about this person. Everybody's made up their mind. Their conclusions are what they are, and they don't want new information. So yeah, feature film has not happened yet. It might in the future. It might not happen until after I'm dead and gone. Who knows? But have I seen the film starring Lena Turner, Imitation of Life? Yeah, of course. So Yeah, that's a classic film, Imitation of Life. Actually, who was it that wanted to, in one of the negotiations, there was Nicole Ari Parker, I think, wanted to actually had expressed interest in playing the part of me in, in a feature film. So I was like flattered by that. I've never been that, that beautiful or thin like she is. But anyways, the media is an arm of, sorry, I've got to like read that. I missed that. Of Wall Street and Wall Street. Yeah, hates when folks go off code. Yeah, well, I mean, all of the negative stuff happened because of my activism. I'm really convinced of that. If I wouldn't have been really going up strong against police brutality and putting the Spokane Police Department kind of, holding their feet to the fire and trying to hold them accountable for the death of Lorenzo Hayes and other things, I don't think that the media or the city officials would have been interested in my identity at all. It was literally the only thing they could find to hold against me. So Kelly Presley says that you like the Netflix film. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people did get introduced to me through either the Netflix film or the Today Show or something that was, out of my hands as far as, it was shaped by, even the Netflix film was shaped by the director. It didn't show everything that happened. Like, for example, I actually went to Antigua to help start a non-governmental organization, an NGO, which is like a nonprofit down there, and in 2017, and then also went to, or in 2016, and then went to South Africa to support a non-racial, it was called a Quest for a Non-Racial South African Society Dialogue, put on by the Thinking Masses of South Africa, and talked with the Khoisan Legislative Council down there. That was in 2017. All of that was filmed, but none of that was included in the documentary because that didn't fit in with the narrative that the director wanted for that kind of more of like a heartstrings piece. So it just looked like I was just sitting in my house. Like, I also went to Dallas and marched for Braiding Freedom with Isis Brantley, was invited by her, and that was filmed. And because Braiding Freedom, some people are like, Braiding Freedom, what's Braiding Freedom? So it's not legal to braid, lock, and twist natural hair without a cosmetology license in about half of the United States. So it is legal in Washington State, yay, or I wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, it's something that actually existed before the United States even existed. But yeah, it's just, that's still like, I'm still fighting for that. So Samuel said, what made you study English as a second language? Well, just out of necessity, Samuel, is why I'm doing that right now, because I haven't been able to get a job for 4.5 years, and this like self-employment thing is just so dicey. Like last month we barely made it. I don't know, like, it's just like a cliff every month, and it's scary to not know if we can make rent and if we can make bills. And so I'm still applying for jobs. I'm still looking for a job, and I feel like teaching English as a second language might be something that I could do to help provide for my kids. So, well, if you said you've seen all the interviews, the BBC one, thank you. Yeah, so the Hard Talk, was that the one that you watched, the BBC one that you watched that you're referencing? When we went to London, actually, Langston was only 2 months old, I think, when we went to London to do the Hard Talk BBC interview. So Jacqueline is just tuning in. Yeah, we already discussed that a little bit earlier in the same conversation. I am definitely moving. I cannot wait to move. Not only have I thought about it, I've been wanting to move for 15 long years since my divorce. My son Franklin was 3 when I got divorced from his dad, and we have been stuck here ever since, waiting for him to turn 18 and graduate high school so that, um, basically, we can leave the area and find a more welcoming environment. Yeah, well, Jamarius, you said I don't deserve my braids that I braided myself, so bye. Gotta, delete you. Like, how do you not deserve something that you do yourself? Um, have you ever thought about, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Bianca said you remember. Hi, Miss Gray. Sorry, I'm behind. Um, I am trying to stay strong. Thank you, Art. Have I tried temp agencies? Yes. This area won't hire me for anything, even temp agency stuff. Have you thought of teaching online? Yes, I was just talking about studying for taking an exam to get my certificate in teaching English as a foreign language. But I tried to teach online, I've taught 15 college courses. So it seems like, my resume and the awards I've won for teaching and that kind of thing would be good enough. But I still have this face, and people get scared about media attention being negative if they hire me. So I haven't been hired by a university to teach online yet. I actually got close with a university in New York, but then when they went to do the paperwork, I guess they said that with their university, you have to live in the same state for tax purposes. And so since I didn't live in New York, I couldn't get hired to do that. So yeah, it was close. I found one. Somebody said the Pacific Northwest is more progressive. No, people think of Seattle with Pacific Northwest stuff. Yeah, Seattle is more liberal, but this is the eastern side of Washington State. It's right by North Idaho, and is very conservative here, very Republican. Thank you, Samuel. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would love to teach again. I hope that I can get an opportunity, because education and advocacy are my passion, and I cannot wait to get back to that. So thanks, Miss Gray. Yeah, my braids have been in for a couple months now. They're grown out a bit, but they still, I like how they fall when they're grown out, because they're not as stiff, as when you first do them. But I probably will be taking them out soonish. Hi, Snuff. Hi, Lord Maximus Farquaad. So I also, of course, am passionate about art, and you can see that I have a lot of art in my space. Let's see if I can move this around a little bit. But yeah, I'm passionate about art and creativity and, of course, human rights, but all of that kind of intersects with education advocacy work. So what is my favorite hairstyle on myself? I like braids. I really do like braids. However, my favorite is kind of changing it up. So I like to have different, different hairstyles. So you did all of those? Yeah, I did. I braid my own hair. I've been braiding my hair for 20 years. In fact, you can watch the tutorial on my YouTube channel about how I did these exact braids, if you're curious. So yeah, a lot of people do ask, who braids your hair? And it's kind of like free advertisement, because I'm still trying to get new clients for hair braiding. So, if I'm out in public and somebody asks, who does my hair or whatever, then I'm like, I do my own braids. And they're like, oh, really? And And I'm like, yeah, and I could do yours too. So thank you. No to the art. Not sure why somebody said no the art. But anyways, yeah. Well, we are getting close to our 60-minute cap for time. Are there any other like last minute questions or things on your mind that you really want to talk about that we didn't get to talk about other than slumber party dialogue, which I am not doing in the morning on a Saturday. I'm sorry. We're not talking about all this stuff again. Oh, if I did all of the art. Yeah, of course. All of the art in my house I did. Let me take you, maybe I'll take you for a little walk through like the art. And then we will wrap this up. So this is the art on this wall. This is a cut paper piece, so it's done with recycled paper. And this is a painting. It's called Journey. This is another painting called Thin Hope. This is a cut paper collage piece as well. And then I've got these two little paintings here, which are on canvas. Can painting be taught or is it just a gift? I think it's both. Like it's like singing. This is a cut paper piece as well. This is a painting. This is a woodcut. So yeah, it's kind of like music. Like some people are born with a certain capacity or gift for it, and then other people may not have as large of a capacity or gift, but then I feel like it's also what you do with it. So a lot of it is just practice, just kind of like music. This is a little sculptural piece in a shadow box frame. A painting. This one is another cut paper piece and another painting. And this one is another painting. So I have so much art in my house. That's literally just the dining room alone. And then we've got the living room area. This is a painting of Isaiah and another cut paper piece. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my phone. This is like not a very good plan. So yeah, maybe I'll do an art tour another time, because honestly, this is kind of hard to do because I'm trying to hold the phone and the lighting isn't super good. So that's another cut paper piece. I don't know if you can really see this one because of the glare on the glass, but that is a drawing and a collage. And I really like this little drawing here. It's just very intimate. But yeah, so that's some of my art. And yeah, back to the question of, is art like a skill or is it a kind of taught thing? I think it's both, because you have a certain capacity, like you have a greater or smaller capacity. I think everyone can do art because we all draw as a kid. And so it's one of the things that is universal about the human experience, is that we all do art. So yeah. Somebody asked, when is Slumber Party Talk? That was last night. You missed it. So if you missed it, you missed it. It's not going public. So that is, yeah, that conversation is over and done with. You like the blue one? So the blue one, there were like several different blue ones. The one with the child is like the mother and child blue one is they're all on my website, honestly. So yeah, all of the art's on my website plus more, because I have more rooms. I just cannot actually go into the rooms right now because Langston's still asleep, and You literally can buy any of these art pieces right off my wall and I will ship it to you. So the originals are on my website as well as prints of originals that have sold in the past. So you can get prints, you can get, originals, you can get whatever. It's racheldolezal.com. So I'll have to put that in the description. So yeah, thank you so much for Slumber Party Talk was for girls, so I'm not sure why the guys all tuned in on Saturday morning for Slumber Party Talk. Maybe that was maybe that was like a misunderstanding. Yeah, we're not doing Slumber Party Talk on Saturday morning at 8 in the morning. I'm sorry. So yeah, that was girl chat. And we had a great chat, but that's going to remain private. So the thumbs up option is the like option. I'm not sure what you see on your screen. I just see like 10 thumbs up, 11 thumbs up. There you go. Somebody just hit it. So last night there were 142 people that were on my live, but I'm not sure, like I can't actually see. I think there are 31 people on right now, so I'm not sure total how many people have tuned in. Yeah. It looks like you guys are just kind of finding the like button. So I am going to close this down now. So thank you so much for having coffee or tea with me. Hopefully you had something to drink. And Jacqueline, do I ever do requests for portraits? Yes, I do commission portraits. So just hit me up on the contact button on my website, racheldolezal.com, or email me, radolezal77@gmail.com, and I will definitely get you some info on commission portraits. So thanks everyone for this Saturday morning chat. We did weather, we did news, we did sports. I blocked some of the other people that were trying to talk about slumber party stuff. Hi Hiron. Somebody was eating clementines. Nice. And now I have to go clean my house and get ready for my hair clients. So it's been a little over an hour, 67 minutes on here. I hope everybody had a great chat. I'm sorry I had to block a couple people. This is not a XXX rated live YouTube channel here session. Last night there were some things discussed again that I don't want to be public for the sake of protecting other people. So that is not going to be a public video. So if you made it, you made it. If you didn't, you didn't. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good Saturday. Have a great weekend.